Hello viewers and welcome to News in TV. I am Makanaka Masenya. The story is making the headlines. Ndiweni granted $500 bail. In the courts, NASA drags CEO to court for failing to settle a house loan. In business, Padenga Holdings approves acquisition of majority stake in Dalagriro. Nakamba shines on long-awaited Aston Villa debut. News in detail. Bulawayo High Court Judge Justice Thompson Mabikwa on Wednesday granted incarcerated Ndabazunduna Chief Felix Tlatlayamangwe Ndiweni $500 bail pending appeal at the High Court. 2 weeks ago, Bulawayo Magistrate Gledmo Mushove sentenced Ndiweni to 18 months in prison for damaging his subject Fetimbale's homestead. His other 23 co-accused villagers were sentenced to 525 hours of community service. In granting Ndiweni bail, Justice Mabikwa noted that the chances for the success of the chief's appeal at the High Court were very high. Ndiweni has rubbed President Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime the wrong way by openly calling for political reforms and seemingly indicating the ZANU-PF leader might not have won last year's presidential election cleanly. The traditional leader has also just come short of declaring Chamisa as legitimate leader of Zimbabwe. Money siphoned from government institutions through corruption was enough to cater for Zimbabwe's humanitarian aid appeal and more, the European Union has said. This comes after government recently reviewed upwards its budget for humanitarian support, adding over $100 million to the initial $331.5 million. EU head of delegation to Harare, Timo Olkonen, on Tuesday told a local radio station that corruption has had more devastating effects on Zimbabwe than sanctions, a claim that President Mnangagwa's administration has since rejected.
People are talking about hundreds of millions, or even billions in terms of the Auditor General's report. And then you imagine that you have a humanitarian appeal for Zimbabwe, which is to the tune of a couple of hundred millions. That basically, just a part of what is assumed to be stolen could have covered, those needs for the humanity. So I think the effect has been devastating for the country.
Mnangagwa has, however, admitted deep-rooted corruption in both private and public sectors must be fought. The president has since legislated for arresting powers to the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission and allowed a serving cabinet minister to be arrested on graft charges, a first in the country's history. Controversial Deputy Information Minister Energy Mutodi has dismissed the possibility that current alleged state-sponsored abductions could hinder President Emmerson Mnangagwa's re-engagement attempts. Mutodi told NewZimbabwe.com on the sidelines of a customer experience and service delivery symposium in Harare Tuesday that claims of abductions are creations of the opposition bent on tarnishing the image of the country.
The opposition is trying to tarnish the government by trying to stage manage abductions and portray an issue of human rights abuse. And that way we have already said that we are not involved in any abductions. If any, we are a second republic. We aim to improve the livelihoods of Zimbabweans and give them a better experience, a complete break from the past. So as a government, we are very much in line with the Constitution. We are operating under the Constitution of Zimbabwe, and any false reports will be analyzed by the police and dealt with in accordance with the law.
Mutodi last week, who took to Twitter to dismiss comedian Samantha Gonya-Tukurira and recent onslaughts on MDC politicians as stage-managed acts, said that the West, whom they are struggling to convince, was seeing through the whole drama. Outgoing United Nations resident coordinator Bisho Parajuli says government should allow peaceful demonstrations to take place and stop human rights violations. Parajuli was addressing the media in Harare Wednesday and said peace is fundamental for progress in Zimbabwe. He castigated the state for its heavy-handedness in dealing with opposition demands for space to air its grievances and petition government as enshrined in the country's constitution.
Going to people, evening and mask and beating I mean, that's absolutely intolerable. That should not be the right thing to do. I mean, if there are issues, there should be a dialogue, there should be a conversation, and it's time in the new Zimbabwe to build trust and to have a dialogue and have a conversation. Everybody should feel free to share their perspective and views and work in nation building in that broader sense.
In the courts, National Social Security Authority has dragged its former chief executive, Elizabeth Chitiga, to court for failing to repay a house loan advanced to her back in 2017. Chitiga's woes seem to be increasing given she is facing criminal prosecution for reportedly fleecing the state pensions administrator, and now NASA has filed summons with the High Court demanding $201,581 from her. The authority says Chitiga has paid $261,056 towards settling the debt, but is now defaulting, paying monthly installments, resulting in the arrears accruing. Court papers show Chitiga is now in breach of the terms of the housing loan contract after failing to pay the monthly installment payments, $175,377, towards liquidation of the housing loan. Chitiga is yet to respond to the summons. In business, crocodile skin exporter Padenga Holdings Limited shareholders has approved a decision to acquire 50.1% stake in the renowned mining giant Dalaglio Investments in a move which will give the company controlling stake. The decision was reached at an extraordinary general meeting held in Harare on Wednesday. In an initial circular on the deal, Padenga Management Board explained that the decision is aimed towards diversifying the company's exposure and move away from reliance on the production of crocodilian skins and create new avenues to source foreign currency. We end with sports. Zimbabwe Warriors star midfielder Marvelous Nakamba put up a solid performance in his long-awaited debut for Aston Villa after playing a pivotal role in the English Premier League side's impressive 6-1 victory over Creole Alexandra in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday night. The 25-year-old £11 million signing from Belgian side club Bruges missed Aston Villa's first 3 Premier League games as he sought to build up his fitness after missing most of pre-season due to an injury he suffered representing his country at the African Cup of Nations 2 months ago. Aston Villa manager Dean Smith, however, finally handed him his claret and blue bow at Gracey Road, and the Zimbabwean star grabbed the opportunity with both hands after putting on stellar performance. Reporting for newszimbabwe.com, I am Akanaka Masengama. For this and more stories, visit our website www.newszimbabwe.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Newsim TV.